Today we are going to discuss about the national income trends. In last class we discussed about the national income, meaning of the national income, GDP, GNP, and all these concepts we discussed in earlier class. Today we are observing about the trends, only trends. The importance of calculating national income also indicates these trends. By observing the trends is the reflection of economic development of one country. National income trends reflects in economic development of one country. If the trends are increasing such a rate, it indicates the economic development. In India, if we observe some decades, slower growth rate has been registered, and after that slowly pick up that growth rate of national income. That things we have to observe. And one more thing we have to keep in our mind, national income can be calculated in two types of prices. One is current prices, another one is constant prices. National income increases with two reasons. One reason is real goods and services increasing. Really, goods and services increasing. For that reason also national income increases. One more reason to increase the national income is price rise. If we are calculating national income in current prices, national income can be increased for two reasons. One is goods and services increasing in real goods and services, another one is price rise. To eliminate the price rise, we use the constant prices. And another one thing, eliminate the growth of population impact on national income, we calculate per capita income. And that things we will observe. During 1950 onwards, during 1950-51, first we will discuss about the current prices. According to the current prices means current prices. In 1950-51, current prices, according to the current prices, our national income is 9,152 rupees. 9,152 crores rupees we are having based on the current prices. Current price means the production of 1950-51 calculated with the prices of 1950-51. Same year's price and same year's production. That is called current according to the current prices. And per capita income, this is national income, and per capita income is 255 rupees. 255 rupees according to the current prices. These details according to the current price. To observe the trends, first based on current prices, NNP increased from 9,152 crores in 50-51 according to the price of 50-51. In 50-51, our NNP is according to the 50-51 prices 9,152 crores. It is increased from here to 91,71,045 crores in 13-14. And prices also we are calculated for this current prices, that means 13-14 prices and 13-14 product. Here 50-51 prices, 50-51 product. That is why we are saying it is current prices. In current prices, involvement of monetary effect, that is price rise effect, we can observe. By same thing we can observe with constant prices also. NNP increased from, according to the constant prices year is 2004-5. Our prices is constant year price means 2004-5 prices. We have taken 2004-5 prices. According to the prices of 2004-5, our NNP increased from 2,04,924 crores to 49,20,183 crores. Year of 50-51. Prices is 2004-5. This is called constant prices. According to the constant prices, our national income in 1950-51, it is 2,04,924 crores. Increased from here to 49,20,183 crores in 2013-14. Product is 2013-14, prices is 2004-5. That's why we can say this is constant prices, based on the constant prices. If we observe current prices NNP, current prices NNP of 2013-14, it is 91,71,000. When we observe the base according to the based price, we can say based price also. Constant prices are also called based prices. According to the based prices, it is 49 lakhs only. Observe this trend. Why we are discussing all this data? We should not remind, we should not keep in our mind all this data. To compare the data, observe this. In 1950-51, in 2013-14, according to the current prices, it is 91 lakhs. According to the constant prices, it is 49 lakhs only. That thing will be removed. The price rise is removed from 91 lakhs. It is a real national income, that is 49 lakhs 20,183 crores. To remove, we are using constant prices. And we have to observe the trends. Here, per capita income also, based on the current prices, 255 rupees in 1950-51. It is increased from 255 to 74,380 rupees. 74,380 rupees. This is current prices, according to the current prices. Here 50-51 prices, here 13-14 prices. In this case, constant prices are regarding 2004-5 prices. According to the 2004-5 prices, our per capita income is 5,708 rupees in 50-51. That is increased from here to 39,904 rupees in 13-14. This is the trends we have to observe. What way, how much amount is removed as a monetary effect from here to here. 91 to it is reduced to 49 and 74,000 to 39,000. That much monetary effect will be we are observing in national income trends. This is, and one more thing we have to keep in our mind, that base year, currently base year is changed to 2000. Now base year, current base year prices, base year is changed to 2011-12. Now base year is 2011-12. Every 5 years or 6 years, the base year prices will be changed. Since 1948-49, so many base year changed. Now earlier the discussion is regarding 2004-5. Now according to the new current year, that is new constant year, is 2011-12. According to the 2011-12 prices, what will happen we will see. Present base year is changed. Recently base year has been changed to 2011-12. Now new base year is 2011-12. We have to calculate our national income based on the base year prices of 2011-12. We observe some trends. What happened? In 2011-12, according to the 2011-12 prices, our national income is 77,42,074 crores. This is increased to 99,34,339 crores. in 1516. At present, based on the base year prices, our national income is, during 1516, our national income is 99,34,339 crores. Per capita income also, based on the base year, 63,460 during 11-12. This was increased to 77,431 rupees. This is the per capita income present in India based on the based price in 1516. So, what is the per capita income? 77,431. If you observe same thing, same per capita income according to the current prices, that means 1516 prices, you observe 93,231 rupees. Difference between 77,000 and 93,000. The difference, whatever the difference amount is, because of the price rise it is increased, not real increasing. We have to remove the monetary effect. To remove, we are using constant prices or base year prices. Base year prices can be called constant prices or base year prices, and current prices are whatever the year we are calculating national income, the same year prices, if we take the same year prices, that is current prices. If you observe the 2011-12 current year prices, 77 lakhs 42,074, and the same current year prices, 1516 prices used to calculate the national income of 1516, that thing 1 crore 19 lakhs 61,524, 1 crore 19 lakhs. The difference between 99 lakhs and 1 crore 19 lakhs, that thing is monetary effect which we removed with the help of base year. To remove the monetary effect, we are using this base price. What are the trends? How much we have to, how much national income is increased with monetary effect, and how much national income is increased with the real increase of goods and services, we have to calculate. For that purpose, we use the base year. Every 5 to 6 years, or even sometimes we use it to change the base year at 10 years. First time based prices is 48, 49, and the next 60, 61, like that. So many years we have changed. Present current base year is 2011-12. We are going to discuss about the growth rates of national income and per capita income. Earlier we discussed in the actual figures, crores of rupees we discussed. The same thing which we are going to discuss in the form of growth rates. Since independence, after independence, starting our planning era, since 1950, we observe that during the period of 1950 onwards to present situation, we classified that 30 years, first 3 decades of planning era, that is 1950-51 to 80-81, we registered a small growth rate. Only 3.5% of the national income, average annual national income for that 30 years is only 3.5. It's a meager, it's a very small growth rate which we registered in our Indian economy. This was Professor Raj Krishna indicated that 3.5 is the Indian growth rate. Like that, he commented on that 3.5 is the Indian growth rate. That 3.5's name is itself, it is the Indian growth rate. We registered a small growth rate during that first 30 years of planning era, 1950-51 to 80-81. We registered only 3.5%. National income growth rate is 3.5%. At the same period, PCI, per capita income growth rate, is only 1.5. Why the difference between these two means? Increasing the population at a speeder rate during this period. So, the growth rate is increased very high of national income, but it is not reflected in per capita income. per capita income is increased at 1.5. And next 30 years, that is 1980, 81 to 2010-11. During this 30 years, we increased our growth rate to 5.9. Average growth rate of per annum is increased to 5.9. It is a considerable increasing growth rate. We can recognize that our India is emerging economy, which is registering high growth rate like developed economy. We can say in this 30 years, the average is 5.9 and per capita income is also increasing at 3.4. And remaining at present from 2011-12 to present, that means 2014-15. In these years, if we observe, almost 7.3 to 7.6 in between, every year we are registering growth rate like this. And per capita income is also increasing at 5.5. This is the trends we can observe in percentage wise growth rates of national income and per capita income. In decadal wise, we can observe that data. First decade 50-51 to 60-61, our national income growth rate is 4.2%, and 60-61 to 70-71 3.5, and 70-71 to 80-81 2.9. Average of this 30 years is giving you the 3.5%. And like that, if we observe our data trends, we can observe that slowly we started growth rate. Our growth rate is started very slowly, and after 81 onwards, we registering high growth rates. After 1980-81 to 2010-11, in between these 30 years, we speed up our growth rates. This is the policy which have taken by the government. It is implementing in the development process, economic development process of India, and we are slowly increasing our growth rates. Now our growth rate is around 7.3 to 7.6, which is equal to developed countries growth rates like USA and all developed countries also register like this. And that's why China and India are called emerging economies, who are registering high growth. Though they are not developed countries, they are registering high growth rates like developed countries. So these two countries are called emerging countries. This is the growth rates, annual growth rates of national income and per capita income during 1950-51 to 2015-16 we observed. Now we are going to discuss this growth rates of national income and per capita income during the plans. First plan, national income growth rate is 4.4, and in second plan 3.8, in third plan 3.8, in fourth plan 3.1, fifth plan 4.9, and in sixth plan 5.4. Slowly, if we observe the trend, need not worry about the points which we should keep in our mind. Follow the trend, how our Indian economy national income is increasing plan wise. First plan to second plan, it is little bit decreased. Second plan to third plan, further it is decreased because of the unavoidable things, wars we faced during that period. So drought conditions we faced in that period. So in national income is decreased, and slowly it is started pick up from fourth 3.1, 4.9, 5.4, 5.5, 6.7, again small decrease, and 10th plan onwards we are registering high growth rates like 7.8, 7.6. Even in 12th plan also we are registering almost average above 7.2. This is the trend which we observe during the plans. Same during that plan we can observe the per capita income also. First plan 2.6 and second plan 1.7, third plan 0.4 and fourth plan 0.8. This indicates the rapid growth of population. Even national income is increasing, but per capita income is not increasing. Why? Because how much national income is increasing, the same percentage is followed by the population. So the per capita income is not reflected, not increasing as the national income is increasing. So fifth plan 2.6 and 3.1, 3.3, 4.5. Slowly per capita income is also increasing. This trend, because of the high growth rates in national income, it is reflecting in per capita income. Slowly after 9th plan, 10th plan and 11th plan, slowly population is also increasing, rate is decreasing now. That thing can be observed in per capita income. So far we discussed about the national income trends and in actual figures and growth rates wise. We have seen since starting of 1951 to 2014-15 and we observed during the plan wise. Now we are going to discuss about the sectorial contributions to national income. What are the sectors? First, our Indian economy classified into three sectors: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Tertiary sector's another name is service sector. Here primary sector can be, sometimes we can use that agriculture sector. Primary sector is nothing but agriculture sector. Secondary sector nothing but industrial sector. Tertiary sector or third sector or service sector, we can say like this. Total Indian economy classified into these three sectors. Contribution, sectorial contributions. Each sector is contributing some rupees to the national income. For example, national income is 100 rupees. If it is 100 rupees, how much from that total 100 rupees, how much is coming from primary sector, how much is coming from secondary sector, how much is coming from tertiary sector. That is called sectorial contributions to national income. If we observe that in starting of our planning period, that is starting of our own ruling 1950-51 onwards, if we observe that in that year primary sector is a major playing a major role in contribution of national income. Almost 57.2% of the income is contributed by primary sector, and in that period secondary sector is contributing 14.8% and tertiary sector is contributing 25% of the national income. If we observe this data, it is the symbol of underdevelopmentness. If any country depending on the agriculture is playing major role in contribution of national income as well as contribution of employment. If agriculture sector is playing major role, that is the characteristic of developing nature or underdeveloped nature. That thing we can observe in our India during 1950-51. In that moment we started our own developmentness with the help of our plans. Slowly if we observe that the percentage of primary sector is decreasing, slowly decreasing. According to our economists, the role of service sector should be very high. If we compare this data with developed countries, in US or UK developed countries, the major role is played by service sector. Service sector contribution almost 60%, more than 60%, and only 2 to 3% of the contribution coming from the primary sector in developed countries. That same thing if we observe in India, it is completely reversed. Primary sector is contributing more, and second place goes to the service sector, and third place is secondary sector, that is industrial sector. According to the economists, development throughout the during the development, economic development, shifting from the employment and contribution of national income is shifting from the agriculture sector to industrial sector to tertiary sector, that is service sector. If we have to follow this sequence. But in Indian case, the primary sector, from primary sector without developing the industrial sector, suddenly it is transferred to the service sector. If we observe the details of our sectorial contribution, we can find out that 2013-14, you observe the figures regarding 2013-14. In this period, if we observe, primary sector is contributing only 13.9. It is a good sign. It is a development to developed countries characteristics. It is very good. But secondary sector is contributing very less, whereas service sector is contributing more. Without development of secondary sector, service sector has been developing very rapidly. Along with that service sector, secondary sector should be increased, developed. That thing we can observe that during the 13-14, 13.9% coming from the primary sector, 26.2% is coming from the secondary sector, and tertiary sector it is contributing 59.9. This is the trends, sectorial contribution to the national income. This is the sign of developing of a country. Slowly primary sector role is decreased, and at the same time that whatever the decreased part from primary sector, it is shared by secondary and service sector. This is the sectorial contribution of national income. Share of public sector and private sector in GDP. Now, earlier we discussed the sectorial contributions. How many sectors are there in our country, what they are providing to the national income, what is the part which is coming from one sector to another sector. Now we are going to the same GDP, how the public sector and private sector they are contributing. In during 1950-51, public sector role is very less in our India. It is only restricted to few things and providing security, and that's why it is having only 8% contribution. Public sector is contributing only 8%, and whereas private sector that is contributing 92%. And slowly after planning started, the government role is increased in the development process of country, and due to mixed economy nature, the government role is increasing slowly. So if we observe up to 1991, that a reform period, we started our reforms, new economic reforms started in 1991-92, and up to 1991 government role is increased from 8% to almost 23% during 1991. 91-92. 91-92 is the year which we started reforms. Up to here almost it is increased, the public sector's role is increased from 8% to 23%. But it is later from 92 onwards again liberalization and globalization process, due to this policy which we adopted during the reforms, again private sector role is increased, and government sector role is little bit decreased from 23rd to it is decreased to 20%. Now at present public sector is providing 20% contribution and private sector is providing 80% of the GDP. This is the share of public sector and private sector in GDP according to the 99 prices, 99-2000 prices. That time based on the base year is 99-2000. After 99-2000 prices, base year is changed to 2004-05, and again now 2011-12 is the base price. Now share of rural and urban in contribution in GDP. If we observe that rural sector is contributing more in during 70-71, 62.4% of the GDP is coming from rural areas, and 37.6% of the GDP coming from the urban areas. 99 to, if we observe this 99 2000, the rural contribution is decreased from 62.4% to 48.3. That means the role played by the rural sector is decreasing and urban is increasing. Urban sector is increasing. Earlier, we can interpret like this. Earlier, during the 70-71, most of the people engaged in agriculture sector, so rural sector is contributed more. Now, according to 99 2000, 48.3, it is decreased to 48.3. That means employment depending on agriculture is slowly decreasing and it is moving to the urban side, and they are engaged by industry and service sector. So that thing we can observe with this help of this data. And during 1999 2000, the urban share is increased from 37.6 to 51.7. It is a good sign for us, and more contribution should be coming from industrial sector and service sector. We have to share this is share of rural and urban in GDP. Share of organized and unorganized sector. Here organized and unorganized. What is the meaning of organized and unorganized? We have to discuss about that. Organized sector means it should be registered in the government rolls. According to some sections, it should be registered in government rolls. That sector is called organized. Which is not registered, that is unorganized. Agriculture sector is all unorganized sector. Every year, the registered companies, they present the balance sheet, and here whatever the other which is not registered and it is not presenting the balance sheet, that is comes under the category of unorganized sector. If we observe the contribution coming from the organized and unorganized, unorganized sector is playing major role in contribution of GDP. If we observe during the period of 80-81, 70% of the GDP is contributed by unorganized sector, whereas organized sector is contributing only 30%. Thus, the organized sector role is decreased, but though if we observe during 2007-8, still it is decreased from 70 to 57, but even though it is now contributing more than 50%, that is 57% now also, even now also it is coming more than 50% from unorganized sector, and 43% is coming from organized sector. This is share of organized and unorganized in GDP, in rural GDP. But it is in this GDP, urban GDP is not included, separately individually in rural GDP. If we observe that in rural GDP, percentage of the agriculture is very high. Obviously, we can know that in rural areas, main occupation is agriculture. So, agriculture is playing major role in rural GDP. So, that is why if we observe 70-71, 74% of the GDP is coming from the agriculture. Remaining 26 is coming from the industries and service sector. Combinedly, in rural areas, industries and service sector very less. In rural areas, agriculture is very high. That's why in rural GDP, 74% is coming from the agriculture, 26 coming from the industries and service sector. Again 7-8, during the 7-8 if we observe, this thing little bit changed, and in place of agriculture, now share of industries and services increased to 58%. This indicates that even in present day, in rural area also, the industries and service sector is increasing. Banks branches are increasing, and other service sectors are increasing. Transport sector and communication sectors are increasing in the rural areas. So their contribution is increased from 26 to 58%. And if we observe that in agriculture, that is 74% to it is decreased to 42%. This is the in rural GDP agriculture contribution, in rural GDP, industries and service sector during this period. We will discuss some questions. So far we discussed about the national income trends, sectorial contributions, GDP contribution, GDP, how the rural urban contribution and organized unorganized, private and public sectors, like that so many things we discussed. That same thing in question forms we will discuss how they may ask on this topic. Question may be framed like this. First one, national income of India is compiled by. Who compiles the national income? In last class, concept class, we will discuss about this. National income is computed by, options are, first one, Finance Commission. No, Finance Commission won't calculate the national income. India Statistical Institute, no. And National Development Council, it is not. Right answer is Central Statistical Organization, which is established for the calculation of national income. In first time to calculate the national income in our India, one organization is established in during 1950-51 and it is started working since 1954, that is Central Statistical Organization. Answer, right answer is Central Statistical Organization, that is CSO. Always we used to say that CSO. In next question, which of the following is not required while computing the GNP? To answer this question, we have to clarify regarding concept of what is GNP, how to calculate the GNP, what are the components inside the GNP. With the help of that concept, we can answer this, what is necessary and what not necessary. GNP means C plus I plus G plus X minus M. This is the equation that is called GNP. GNP is equal C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Here the options given there, net foreign investment. This is called a net foreign investment. Net foreign income, we can say investment, we can say income, net foreign income. Net foreign income means exports minus imports. Whatever the goods exported by India and whatever the goods imported by India, difference between X minus M is called net foreign investment. It is there. To calculate GNP, we need net foreign investment. And private investment. Investment is domestic private investment. I means domestic private investment. It is also needed. And purchase of goods by government, that is here G, government expenditure on goods and services. Here C, consumption of goods and services by people of a country. It is not mentioned in that options. One more option which is not relevant, it is mentioned in that per capita income of citizen. To calculate GNP, we need not worry about the per capita income. After calculating the GNP, it should be divided by the population, we will get per capita income of a citizen. So, right answer is, which is not necessary to calculate the GNP is PCI of citizen, personal per capita income of citizen. Next question, the method by which the CSO estimates the national income. In concept class we will discuss that national income calculating methods. We are having three methods. One is output method, that is called production method. Another one is income method. Another one is expenditure method. By way of production also we can calculate 1 year's value, and in the income earned by the factors of production, by adding all that income is also equal to national income. And the spending of the people, government and firms, by adding these three we will get national income. In these three methods we can calculate the national income. So, the method which the CSO uses. Combination of all these three is the right answer. In some sectors, income method is used. In some sectors, production method is used. In some sectors, expenditure method is also used. So, right answer is a combination of all three. Next, the standard living in a country is represented by its standard of living a person. How can we assess the standard of living in one country? With the help of per capita income itself, we can know, we can discuss. Per capita income explains the standard of living of a person. National income, total income of the country during that 1 year period. Poverty ratio it's not an appropriate option for us. Unemployment rate, with the help of unemployment rate we can't assess the standard of living. Okay, answer is per capita income. With the help of per capita income we can assess the standard of living in country. Which is the best measure of economic growth of a country? Country's economic growth can be measured. We are having some indexes. So many indexes are there. GNP is there, GDP is there, per capita income is there, HDI is there. So many indexes are there to calculate, to measure the economic growth, progress of one country's economic growth. We are having here options are given only 4. Here there is no HDI. If there is HDI, we can put HDI. The first option is GNP. Next option is GDP. Third is net revenue. None of these. Net revenue, it is not the measure to economic growth. GDP, it is not representing all incomes. GNP is representing total income which is produced during the year in a country by its nationals, country's nationals, that is GNP. Which of the following are referred to as the developed economies? Which of the following are referred to as the developed economies? Country, World Bank has classified total world countries into developed economies and developing economies based on per capita income. Based on the per capita income, World Bank has classified into world countries into lower income countries, middle income countries, high income countries. That is based on per capita income. So, right option is countries having large per capita income, they are developed economies. Countries having less per capita income, that is termed as developing economies or underdeveloped economies. Countries earning huge industrial is different. Countries proficient in trade and export is different. Countries advanced in technology, these are the symptoms of developed economies. But appropriate characteristics is high per capita income. Which country is having high per capita income? That country is called developed economies. Based on the per capita income itself, we are indicating America is developed and UK is developed and Germany is developed. So, that is the right option is third one, countries having larger per capita income. National income trends. In the topic, the sum of total incomes received for the services of labor, land, capital in a country is called. Here the national income is based on the factor cost. National income is calculating based on the factor cost. Factor cost means whatever the factor of productions they are earning as a wages, rent and interest along with profit. If we added these 4 shares, we will get national income. That is right, appropriate word is national income. In India, national income is nothing but net national product at factor cost. Net national product at factor cost. National income means GDP also sometimes we used as a national income. GDI also national income. GNI also national income. But right appropriate word for national income is net national product at factor cost. Factor cost, whatever the income earned by the factor cost, that cost is added labor earned wages, land earned rent, capital earned interest and organizer earned profit. By adding these 4 factors of production, we will get national income. That national income is nothing but net national product at factor cost. These are the questions which we are discussed based on this topic. One more question, that is with reference to the Indian economy, consider the following statements. Question may be asked like this: 2 inferences may be given. Among the 2, A is correct or B is correct, both A and B is correct, neither A nor B is correct. Like this, this type of questions may be. First, the question, to understand the question, the gross domestic product has increased by 4 times in the last 10 years. In last 10 years, GDP is increased 4 times. And second inference is the percentage share of public sector, the percentage share of public sector in GDP has declined in the last 10 years. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? In this, we will discuss it that percentage share of public sector in a diagram, in a box, we will discuss this point. Public sector expenditure, share of public sector in GDP, first it is only 80%, in during 50 it is 8%, and it is increased up to 1991 reform period, it is increased to 23%. Again from 23, slowly it is decreasing. That thing we can observe in this B inference. So, appropriate answer is the B only. First one, A. In A, what is he is asking? The gross domestic product has increased by 4 times. It is not happened in the 10 years, last 10 years. It is, if we observe the 52 here, we came to know that. But here in last 10 years, the GDP is not increased at that rate. Okay. So, appropriate answer is B only. Next, the national income of a country for a given period is equal to. Here he is asking what is the national income of a country. What is the options? Read options carefully first. Total value of goods and services produced by the nationals. Second option, sum of the total consumption and investment expenditure. Third one, sum of the personal income of all individuals. Fourth one, money value of final goods and services produced. With these 4 options, what is the appropriate answer for that question? What is the national income? He is asking a question, what is the national income? What is the definition for the national income or meaning of the national income? The final good value of goods and services which are produced during the year by nationals of that country is called national income. That is, appropriate option is number 1, total value of goods and services produced by the nationals in given period. That is why we have to opt the first one. Sum of the total expenditure or consumption, by adding these 2 we won't get the national income. And the personal income of the individuals, if they are not participating in the production also, some persons they are getting in the form of pensions. We can't add that in national income. Money value of final goods and services, we won't take the money value, real value we will take the real value. In this way, appropriate answer is total value of goods and services produced by the nationals. By observing the national income trends, we came to know that what is the increasing rate, growth of increasing rate of India, at what rate it is increasing, and in real time what is the monetary effect. To reduce the monetary effect, what are the things we observed? Constant prices and based year prices we have taken. So, these points we discussed, and sectorial contributions, different sectors, what are they contributing to the national income we observed, and different contributions. One is urban rural contribution to the GDP, another one is a private and public sector contribution to the GDP, Another one is organized sector and unorganized sector contribution to the GDP. And all these things we covered in this topic. Based on the cover, what type of questions may be asked, we discussed some questions also. First, we will get the concept and clarity over the concept. What is the national income? Who calculate the national income? First time who calculated the national income? What is the national income? Final value of goods and services which are produced during the year in a country by nationals, it is called national income. Who calculated the first time in India? National income calculated by Dadabhai Naoroji, great grand old man of India. He is the person who calculated the national income of India first time. And again after that, after getting independence, one committee constituted under the chairmanship of P.C. Mahalanobis, National Income Estimation Committee, NIC. It is the committee which is calculated national income first time in India. This committee submitted a report in 1954 and CSO established in 1950-51, 1954 onwards. Still today in India, national income is compiled by CSO, Central Statistical Organization, with the help of NSSO and other departments. This is the organization which calculate the national income. This is the national income trends and which we follow this concept, and based on this concept we can at least two questions may be asked on this, and we can select these answers according to the concept.